Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Tactical Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having a good start to your, well, not a good start to your morning. It's actually Sunday now. So this is our Sunday Stock Talk. If you guys have never tuned on in, this is pretty much where we come together as a team and we talk about the top stocks that you guys see value in. So all you have to do is, if you ever want to tune into one of these live trading sessions, is market is open Monday through Friday. So therefore, the day before on Sunday, as of today, at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we go live and we break down the top stocks you see value in, and all I ask you is to post it in the ticker call out format. You're going to see people sharing a series of different stocks within this live trading session, and all that means is, again, first of all, you should never trade based off of anyone else's opinion. This is just where we share ideas and we can take it as a grain of salt and do what it is that we want with it, right? What's going on, Acacia? So hopefully you guys are all having a amazing Sunday. Hopefully you guys are excited for a good start to the week. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. So as you guys can see, Muhammad has it in the ticker call out format. So we're going to break down his stock in just a little bit. Let me go ahead and let's just get this started. So I hope that I earned your thumbs up throughout this video. And if you guys have any questions, just again, don't hesitate to ask within that little live chat. Also, if you guys haven't joined our free Facebook group, we are the largest one on Facebook for those that day trade in the stock market. We have 242,000 members, and that's that first link down below so you guys can stay connected. So one of the first things that I want to talk about, just because I know a lot of people are going to bring it up, is natural gas just made new lows and it hit one of the lowest price points, if I'm not mistaken, in the past year. So we can go back. So it's at 1.788. That's the overall lows that it made. So pretty much what that means is it closed at 1.85, which is a pretty low point, right? This was on Friday and the futures opened back up on Sunday, right around like 4 or 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And what it's showing us is that it had a huge drop. Therefore, for everyone that held DGAS, as long as natural gas continues to trade around this general area, that means that DGAS is going to most likely make new highs, and then UGAS is going to be making new lows. So that's pretty much what we have on that. And then I also did get a request within our Learn Plan Profit chat to break down /GC. One of the first things that I want to talk about is how it's currently trading. It looks like it had a really aggressive push up, but although it did push up, again, I like to really focus on direction. So if you've ever tuned into one of my live trading sessions, one of my biggest focuses when I'm about to take a trade is, I want to make sure that I do my part in getting in for a good deal, but I want there to be a clear direction. So it looks like natural gas did push up, but then it's pulling back right away, and therefore the direction might be a little bit more unclear, right? If we look at this on the 180-day chart, we can definitely see that gold has been bullish, meaning that it's been making and showing signs of higher highs, but altogether, we have not really been pushing above 1600 right now. We're trading right around 1580, meaning that if you guys are looking for correlating ETFs or ETNs that follow /GC, that's going to be JNUG, JDST, and then there's DUST and NUGT and stuff like that. So you can set your alerts as of right now. It does look like it's starting off on a positive notion, at least for gold itself. We'll see where it goes from there, because on the one-day chart, if you're looking at this as a day trade, I'm not necessarily seeing higher highs, and one of the things that we see very often with gold is that it has a strong push, but then it just corrects itself and pulls back right away. So if you like that, great. If not, then the great thing about trading is that you actually don't ever have to, trade anything that is that you don't want to. So here it goes. We're just gonna, let's see. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get right to it. So here it goes. Ticker symbol LABD. So LABD. Here it goes. I'm going to go back on the 180-day chart just so we can break that one down. All right. So LABD, I can definitely see why you're bringing this one to our attention. So overall, one of the first things that I want to pay attention to is, if you guys are unfamiliar with this one does have an inverse ETF, which is LABU, which really just does the exact opposite of whatever this does. So this one's the one that's been more bullish. Recently, it did pull back, but overall, for the past week, it had a very aggressive bullish run, meaning that although it did sell off, it what's the percentage on this? After it broke above the EMA line, we can double check on this. This is 22% that it gained. It hit a resistance. Look at the MACD, look at the RSI. We can see that it's a little bit more overbought. Again, we're big believers in the trend is your friend, but as of right now, we're going to need a lot of confirmation when it comes down to this thing actually beginning to make higher highs, as LABD has been notorious for selling off. So therefore, just because it's sold off, and one of the things, if you guys haven't watched that video already, I uploaded it on my channel just a couple days ago, and I talked about, this was 2 days ago, and it's about how, like, it's not it just simply talks about reversals and how, although, you know, it did sell off, it's finding a support based off of a previous support level. It doesn't have to reverse, right? It can try to push up, and then it can just get rejected and make lower lows. So if you're so certain that it's going to reverse, and obviously, you know, the margin of profit is attractive, right, that it offers, which is about 20% for LABD, you have a lot of margin to work with. Therefore, waiting for confirmation and waiting for higher highs and waiting for the opportunity to present itself is definitely key. So I set my alert for the break above the EMA line. I'll also set my alert for the break below, just in case, or just so we can stay up to date with its overall progress. But I really do appreciate you bringing this one to our attention, and I think a lot of people could see definitely why they see that reversal potential. So here goes. We got BYND. So this is beyond me, if I'm not mistaken. So this one moves a little bit quicker. I would not recommend this for any beginner trader. It moves quick enough that, you know, you could either get left in the dust if you're not the best with, especially the momentum. It's been notorious for that, where it's been pumped before and then it just sells off altogether. It looks like, looking at its recent volume and looking at the volume that it had before, and how it, you know, after it began to die out, it corrected itself in price, and then again the volume picks back up again. It really just looks like some form of manipulation, or overall just there's more demand now than there really normally is. We're not making higher highs anymore, and it's beginning to do the same thing that it did before, where it's beginning to show signs of a resistance and then it continues to pull back. So therefore, yeah, this thing can try to continue to push up. It hasn't been able to do it for the past month. So because of that, looking at the RSI, looking at the MACD, and looking at previous highs, it looks more overbought than it does oversold. And because of how it trades and because of how notorious it is for aggressively selling off, I'm just someone that would rather stay away. If you're, someone that wants to, test this out and stuff like that, you can set your alerts and you can follow up with it. So here we go. I'm just going to set 2 alerts just so I can stay up to date with its overall progress, and then we can go from there. Okay, so beyond me, it's getting sued right now. We'll have to look into it, and then we can, the more you learn about it, the more of an informed decision that you can make. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. So SBGL, I appreciate you posting that in the ticker call out format. So I like this one. What do you guys think about this one? So we have a lot of, I trade a lot of ETFs. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone. I feel like a lot of people like even like Tesla, multi-billion-dollar market cap, and still wouldn't recommend that for everyone because of how it moves. What do you guys think about SBGL? It moves a little bit different, right? There's more consistency. There's more of a clear direction. It might not make a lot of money, but let's be honest. Maybe if you're someone that's just getting started, your sole focus shouldn't be trying to make money. It should be focusing on being able to enter and exit a trade successfully and when it makes sense. You got to learn how to walk before you run, right? I do agree that you do have to wait for confirmation, and there is no question about that. So right now it has been doing a very good job for the past 180 days to hold above this SMA line. You guys can search it up and learn a little bit more about it. It's a simple moving average. I think it's a great indicator that gives a little bit more of a clear direction of the overall direction of whatever stock it is that you are trading, but now we are trading below it. So that's not the best sign. It's great that it pulled back, but we did make almost the same highs right around $11. So that was the previous resistance, and now we're trading right around $9.70. So I would like to see this thing begin to trade again above $10. I would like to show signs of growth. I want this thing to begin to make higher highs, and again, even trading it from $10 to $11, that's more than enough margin, especially with something that offered a very consistent direction and pattern. would much rather, if I was a complete beginner, I would much rather try to focus and try to trade or invest in something like this in comparison to a penny stock or a momentum stock or an ETF or anything like that. Like, yeah, I do agree that you can make quicker money with higher risk stocks, but that's not the point. The point is to learn the basics, to learn how to walk before you can run. And I think that this is a perfect example. This doesn't have to confirm itself. It can still get rejected and it could still sell off. There's always some form of risk, but it's just the overall idea that if you do wait for confirmation and again, you slowly add to your position size and things go according to plan, or if things go south, you manage your risk. Even if things do begin to go south, it's much easier to manage your risk with something that maybe doesn't move as quick, right? You could ask or dedicate a little bit more time to do a little bit more due diligence with that. So, but yeah, I appreciate you sharing that one with us. So we got Joey. What's going on, my guy? So HCA, I think that is. What's going on, Lito? I think it was HCA, right? If I'm not mistaken, I'll double check that one. Yeah, HCA. Perfect. Okay, so we just made previous highs at 151.93. It aggressively pulled back. This one's a little bit more all over the place. I think there's probably a reason on why you brought this one up. Does this have to do with the coronavirus? I can see that it has to do with healthcare and let's see. Not too sure what the edge is on that one. It might just be the overall pattern. So we just hit previous highs. It looks like it's pulling back. Looking at the Mackie, looking at the RSI, you could see that at least it tried to find some form of support right around 1.45. We're not making higher highs once again, so we can set alerts to see if it actually begins to happen. But again, there's no question that it does have room to sell off, and based off of its last support, it was around the SMA line where it found it. So I'm going to set alerts on both just in case this thing does continue to sell off. Then again, one of the things that we love to remind our Learn Plan Profit members is that the more that you wait for something to confirm its reversal, potentially the more margin of reversal that you can build for yourself. Meaning that, if you're so eager to get in right now and it continues to sell off, you kind of just shot yourself in the foot, right? With the idea that you could have just waited for it to sell off, actually find a support, and now you could buy at a much better deal to then even be able to sell back at where, it's at right now for an actual profit. So again, confirmation is key, and as of right now, we just don't have it with that. So, Nick, I don't understand why we even do that. It's one click of a button that gets rid of you. Yeah. Here it goes. All right, so INSG. I appreciate that, Hunter. Oh, might have typed it in incorrectly. INSG. All right, here we go. So it looks like it's been trying to do a very good job with an overall uptrend. It recently began to pull back. It broke below the SMA line. So again, another thing that I would be very careful on. We really need this thing to begin to trade back up. It's done it before where it does break below the SMA line and then it does end up correcting itself. But again, how much easier? Ask yourself a very simple question, right? This is for anyone. Instead of you trying to predict when's the best time to buy, how much easier would it be? So let's go back to this time, right? Instead of trying to predict, should I get in or anything like that, how much easier would it be to just allow the direction to confirm itself? Meaning that instead of trying to get in at the best price point, you just get in when it's actually increasing in value, right? So much easier to make money when the direction is in your favor. So right now, it's still unclear. We don't know if we're going to get rejected by the SMA line. We don't know if, this is an early stage of an overall reversal and this thing's going to sell off. So just allow that opportunity to present itself. Again, it's not a make it or break it moment. You have nothing but time. You don't even have to trade it. And that's the great thing about this is that, you really get to decide where you put your money. And obviously it's much easier said than done, but I think confirmation and patience can go a long way in the stock market. And I'm just going to set my series of alerts here. And yeah, we can go from there. Let's see. Margin of profit is definitely there. So I can definitely see why you're paying attention to this. So Here we go. So we got MYO. All right, let's do it. All right, we'll do about 3 more breakdowns and then we can go from there. So I would completely stay away from this. So this is, you can tell it's, first of all, this is a reverse stock split, and usually companies like this, which is an overall descending penny stock. So right now it's trading at $15 per share, but that's after a 1 in 30 reverse stock split, meaning that it was not trading at, it was doing whatever, well, what is it? If it's $15 right now, if it was a 1 in 10 reverse stock split, that means it would have been trading at $1.50. So it was trading 1/3 of that. So it was probably trading at 30, 40 cents before, and it was a descending stock, descending penny stock. Went through reverse stock split, meaning that all they do is if they had, 1,000 shares available to trade, they just reduce the amount of shares available and increase, and that theoretically then increases the price per share. They can reduce it, instead of 1,000, they reduce it to 100, and instead of it being $1 per share, now it's $10 per share. Do you get what I mean? It's just the way that they can. I have a video about reverse stock splits. Altogether, it looks like it was just pumped. They used the reverse stock split for a good time for that. It pushed up to highs of 40, and then it began to correct itself, and now it's selling back off. Huge red flag. Previously had no volume. I don't really care what news was released. There was probably something just to cause more demand to try to support its case. But overall, this happens so often where they just get pumped. The demand ends up dying out. They end up going back to no volume. And then unfortunately, people get caught up here, and then it just ends up correcting itself and selling right back off. So again, just as much money as you can make, you can lose in a very short period of time. You got to learn how to walk before you could run. And this, I'm not saying you can't make money trading penny stocks. That's not the point. All I'm saying is, are you at a point where you know how to trade, right? To enter, exit, and stop loss to take advantage of these opportunities. If not, then again, that's the great thing about the stock market, is that you don't have to, enter any of these positions. So here it goes. So what's going on, Mohammed? Oh, I do owe you that one. I do apologize. So INMD. INMD. Here it goes. So what do you guys think about this one? So INMD overall was showing signs of an uptrend pattern. It is no longer making higher highs. We've talked about this many times before, where it begins to almost consolidate. It no longer begins to make higher highs, and you can see this with this overall SMA line, that it used to indicate signs of an uptrend, but then now the SMA line is consolidated for so long that this could be in the very early stages for an overall reversal, right? So with that being said, yes, I do understand why it is that you're bringing this to our attention with the RSI, with the MACD. And based off of previous patterns, you're probably looking at the resistance, right around 50 as an overall high, right? So that's easy to see there. You're looking at overall lows right now. All I want to point up is that it has not been making higher highs, right? So it could be it's been making, if anything, lower lows. So that's a descending pattern. It doesn't mean you can't make money off of this. All I'm saying is that the direction is not in your favor anymore. The margin of profit is definitely there. It offers about 14% from low to high. So I can see why you're paying attention to this. So I just want to make that apparent to you. Of course, you're going to take advantage of whatever it is that you see value in. All I'm saying is please pick up on this potential change of direction, and hopefully that empowers you to only be that much more conservative with your entry point and with your position size, and when you decide to lock in profits, right? Because it doesn't have to hit $50, especially if it's been struggling to make higher highs, right? So don't be afraid to lock in profits, and at any indication of a resistance, it's best to walk away green than to walk away hopeful, right? Here we go. So we got Ethan in the house, SOXL. So let's break that one down for you. SOXL. Here we go. Okay, I like this one. So overall, very consistent uptrend pattern. Hit previous highs at 331. Recently just got rejected at 300, and it's now pulling back. RSI, MACD. So I'm glad that you brought this to our attention. I can see because it's at the SMA line that you're probably like, hey, this could be a potential support. Yes, but this could also be in the very early stages of, just like it did it before, it broke below the SMA line and it aggressively sold off, right? And it made lower highs based off of previous highs. So this could be in the very early stages of an overall reversal. So hopefully that just empowers you to even be that much more selective. Hopefully it finds a support here, and I'm going to set my alert right around 283 and follow up with it then. So here we go. Boom, we could follow up with it and then kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and do 2 more breakdowns. Let's get on, David. PCG. So let's see. Okay, so I like that you're focusing on direction. Overall, at a very consistent descending pattern. Obviously, if you were to ask yourself, is this the way that you want your account to look? Of course not, right? But recently, it's been seen a change. It's been making higher highs, it's been making higher lows, and even for the past, half a month, 15 days, it's been doing a very good job holding above the EMA line. All I want to remind you is that what goes up most likely over time has to correct itself and come down at some period. And one of the things that I just want to make sure that we avoid is that you get in just thinking that it has to continue to uptrend, but it doesn't, right? It has a lot of margin to give back. So all I want to bring to your attention is we are approaching previous highs right around about $18. So if it does find a resistance there again and gets rejected, this could be when we can begin to pull back. Of course, if it breaks above 18 and begins to make higher highs and it continues to trade above the EMA line, then I think I would focus on that and be very, very careful with a potential reversal, that if things do begin to go south, because it has so much margin to give back, I wouldn't hesitate to, manage risk. But I appreciate you sharing that one with us. So how many hours do you trade per day? Every day is different. Some days I can trade for 30 minutes to an hour and I can hit my daily goal. Or some days I can trade for 4 or 5 hours and not even hit my daily goal. It's all based off of, the opportunity that presents itself. And I'm someone that trades almost the same thing every single day. So, it's a little bit different for everyone else. So I wouldn't focus so much on how many hours is it okay for me to dedicate to the stock market. It's you're watching this video most likely based off of, you're tuning into this video because, it's based off of choice. It's because it's something that you want to do and you want to pursue. You probably are excited because you're just getting started. Don't lose sight of that. Don't make it something that feels like a job, like something that you have to do. It should be fun. You should be surrounding yourself with people that empower you, that try to make you the best version of yourself. And hopefully we can be that group, right? But altogether, it's, only invest the amount of time that you want to in the market up to the point where it's still enjoyable. Of course, there's always going to be hesitations. There's always going to be bumps in the road. There's always going to be rough patches as you're learning about a new market, just like anything, right? But the whole idea is that you actually see value in it and that, you want to continue to pursue it. That's what I hope from it. So ticker symbol Uber, in my opinion, is very overbought. So it just went through earnings, extremely overbought. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD. It, of course, can continue to uptrend, especially if the fundamentals are there. But overall, at least on the technicals, it would not be a surprise. Like, would you genuinely be surprised if this thing actually begins to pull back, especially after a nice push because of its earnings? I don't think so. So I think it's a little bit more on the overbought side than it is on the oversold. But we'll have to see how it follows up this upcoming week. Earnings just happened, so anything can go right now. If it all of a sudden just continues to increase in price, and I believe its overall open market share cap where it IPO'd, sorry about that, was $45. So I can see that it's close to $45, so people might be getting excited for that. There could be more demand that's built kind of like Tesla for no reason that just drives the price up. I wouldn't hope on that, but it can happen. I just think it's a little bit more on the overbought side than it is on the oversold side. So do you do real estate too? Yeah, you don't have to donate to ask me questions. But yeah, I uploaded a video. I've done, I think, 15 investment properties that I've been a part of. And I just uploaded a video about, taking my little sister who's 19 and partnering her up with Lenny, who's one of the real estate agents and investors that we work with here in Arizona. And I funded the whole project. She's just learning from it, and then she'll get her own cut. But yeah, I flip houses, and I have a couple rental properties, and I also work with 2 of the top real estate agents here in Arizona, and it's been fun. I enjoy it, and it's just something that I'm still learning more about. I'm not a expert or anything like that. I really like the idea of surrounding myself with people that are doing well in their own market, and I've really enjoyed the process. So thank you for asking that. Let's see. So we got ticker symbol ZM. What's going on, Driven? All right, let's see if we can end it with this one. I want to end it with a strong one. Here it goes, ZM. Okay, so I see why you're bringing this one up. Obviously, it can continue to push up and increase in value. No question that it's overbought. I can see why, even on the technical side of the MACD, that it's consolidated enough that it can continue to uptrend. So I'll set my alert for the idea on that, but I think it's overbought enough that it hasn't also had the best track record. So because of that, I would not be surprised if it actually begins to sell off and it has quite a bit of margin to give back. So I'd be very, very careful on this. Of course, if it goes and makes higher highs, I would take it day by day as a day trader. I would not really feel comfortable holding something like this, as it's done a very good job trading below where it's at right now. Just asking yourself that question, like, can it continue to increase in value? Of course, anything can happen. But, you know, would it be a surprise if it pulls back? I don't think so. So, alrighty. Any thoughts on natural gas for this week? Ivan, I talked about it in the beginning of this video. Obviously, because it aggressively sold off, that's in favor of DGAS, not in favor of UGAS. But just like every single day, we take it day by day. And during the pre-market session tomorrow morning, I'll be, I'll be checking it out and looking a little bit more into it to try to see if I can, just because natural gas. Well, first of all, I don't hold anything overnight, right? So I don't get a benefit from. I don't benefit, nor do I lose from natural gas fluctuating overnight. The great thing about this is that it's sold off enough that if natural gas begins to recover, then guess what? Then I can benefit from that recovery because I'm a day trader and I didn't hold anything overnight. But just as much as it can continue to sell off and make lower lows and make lower highs. And that's what I'm going to be waiting on. It looks like it's trying to build a support, but again, market won't open until another pretty much 12 hours. I can trade as early as 5 a.m. During the pre-market session on the Thinkorswim platform, but I'll follow up with it. I'll definitely be up at 5 just to quickly check on the direction. And if I see an opportunity, I'll begin to trade. If I don't, I'll go back to sleep, and then I'll be back up at 7:30 trading with the Loan Plan Profit Group. So, but I appreciate you asking. So here we go. VERU. This is going to be the last one. And let's see. Oh, it's penny stock. Let's see. Okay. Definitely more on the overbought side. Previous highs 474. Looks like it's still pushing up, still trying to make higher highs. Overall, it does have an up and coming earnings, and based off of previous earnings, doesn't normally do the best because of how overbought it is. It just wouldn't be a surprise for me if it does begin to pull back looking at previous patterns. So I wanted to end it with like a really good one, maybe something a little bit more on the conservative side. Appreciate that, Mark. Let's see. I don't see a ticker format. We see a lot of people sharing their stocks, but no one's taking time to put it in the ticker call out format. Let's see. Oh. So I have a video about a cash versus margin chance. So I would take time and I would watch it. I share my opinion on it, and I hope that it can get you one step closer to a resolution for you. Here we go. So Joey with GRUB. Come on, guys. You guys can't expect assistance. And I don't do it to be mean. It's not that I'm just like, oh, I want people to, do what I tell them to do. It's me seeing that you've dedicated time to do your own due diligence is telling me that you're investing time and effort to not just hear my opinion, but that you actually see value in this and it's something that you've prepared and planned for. That's what I want to empower you to do. It's to plan out your next trade. Not doesn't benefit me for you to post it in the ticker call out format. All it allows, tells me, is that you've dedicated time to look a little bit more into it and to plan out a trade. Regardless if it's right or wrong, it's the efforts there, and I appreciate that. So overall, GRUB did pull back. Looks like we're approaching the overall SMA line. Didn't have the best earnings, so as of right now, the direction is definitely not in your favor. This is not something that I would say is super consistent. So again, one of the things I would ask, I think it was Joey, right? One of the things I would ask myself is, Is this something that's offering a consistent enough pattern that I would want to take advantage of it, or is this more of a day trade that I think that it could have a quick bounce or continue to sell off? So I think right now it's at a critical point is what I like to call it, because it's at the SMA line, which it can continue to sell off and make lower lows and make lower highs and all that stuff. So I would really allow the opportunity to present itself. And if you're so certain that it's bound, I want to see what's the margin. Okay, 15%. It does offer a pretty decent margin, so I think it would be worth the wait, right? It sold off about 7% on Friday, so let's wait for confirmation. Let's see if that reversal presents itself, and if that direction is there, let's set up a proper plan to try to take advantage of that opportunity. But I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I really hoped that I earned your thumbs up throughout this video. If I didn't get down to the stock that you see valuing, or I didn't get down to breaking down your top stock, what I would encourage you guys to do is, especially if you're part of the Learn Plan Profit group, we have the group alerts section, which you can just tag me in. So post your stock in the ticker call out format, tag me, and then I'll direct message you with my 2 cents. The same thing if you're part of the Technical Solutions Discord chat. It's called Watch List, and you can just tag me, and then I'll give you my own 2 cents on whatever stock you planned out and prepared for. So again, tomorrow we'll be trading live with the Learn Plan Profit group at Market Open. So Market Open's here at 7:30 a.m. in Arizona. If you guys want to tune on in and watch me trade live, I would encourage you to at least take 2 minutes, click the second link down below, learn and inform yourself a little bit more about the Learn Plan Profit group, and making the decision to see if the Learn Plan Profit group would be a good fit for you. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I wish you guys an amazing Sunday. Let's stay patient. Let's stay selective. Let's try to do our best, right? It's not that we have to be a perfect trader. It's not that we have to be the best trader. Let's just try to put a little bit more effort in really allowing an opportunity to present itself. Not just entering a trade because we can, but entering a trade because there is an actual opportunity that's worth taking advantage of. So really do appreciate you guys' time. Like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on a green now. Take it easy.